Hello and welcome to digitalSyn Gaming. I am Syntosis. This is episode 23 of the New Frontier. Yeah, as you can see, I'm on the trampoline. This is, yeah, probably not the best thing to be bouncing around with. Is it me or are they gone loud again? Okay, so there was an update, so all my crap's changed. Oh, because that's not going to be annoying. Really? Video settings, music, control. And we'll put that to there, and that to there, and there. That's cool. All right. So yeah, we have our first laser turret, which is sitting down there. What else have we got? We've got our cube. We've got a quarry running quite happily. We've got 798 diamonds now. What else we got? Look at that, 1,000 redstone. We got quite a bit now. Got quite a bit of stuff. I think we can do some really cool stuff. We probably could actually. We probably could automate a hell of a lot of it. Still got coal ore. Okay. I think we need to start working on some really, really cool stuff. Get in there. Well, we've got an RF to do a ton of more stuff, so gonna have a look at how much RF we've actually got, shall we? 50 million. Wow, really? I didn't even realize we had 50 million. Cool. Right, so let's see. We've got the quarry running again, so we'll leave that running for a little bit, at least until it starts to affect the cubes. We've got a ton more automation that we put in the last time, plus extras. This thing is working really, really well. I would like to get the next tier up, though. I mean, that really is what I want to do. I really do want to get the next tier up. I know that sounds really bad, but I mean, this thing is doing a ton of stuff. It's absolutely awesome. But can you imagine the next tier? How cool will that be? Oh, you know what it is? It's our solar panel. It's light, isn't it? It's not going to start affecting anything until this is dark. Oh, actually, yeah, no, there we go. Yeah, it's not going to affect anything until it's dark. So that's quite cool. It looks like it is getting dark though. Where's the light? Oh no, there it is. No, we're fine for a little while. Okay, so the next tier. Use the bathroom. The next tier of this would be empowered canola. So that would be using the empowerer. Now, obviously, if we start using the empowerer, we would need to feed everything into the correct places for a start. Don't know how easy that would be, actually. What have we got in the way of pipe? Or tubes, or iron? Something? What have we got in the way of transport? Remember rightly, there's not an awful lot. Ooh, they're cool. Always wanted to use an iron drum. I'll get around to it eventually. We've got Psi, but that's... See, that would be quite cool to get into. But I'm not sure this episode is one to do it, really. What mods have we got? Isn't there a mod thing? Guide, server info, there we are. Commands, leaderboards. No, that's not what I wanted. Hang on. Got it. Mods. No? There, mod options. There we go. Okay, so What do we got? We got actually additions. Okay, so that doesn't do an awful lot. Got baubles, thrown, armor plus, astral sorcery, psi, quark. What's quark? Adds a few things, doesn't it? Better additions, better guides, blood magic, blood moon, shelf, Britannia, sonar core, colossal chests. Oh, that would be quite cool to build one of those actually. I've never built a colossal chest. It might be quite cool. Yeah. Cyberware. We could make ourselves into really weird things. That would be quite cool. Okay, so drawers and bits, embers. And storage. Extra utils, obviously. Storage, FL, flux network, foam, forge, generators, grew. I hate that bloody thing. That killed me one of the last times. See, this is the only thing. I mean, there isn't a lot of moving stuff. You know, there's not really a great deal that we can actually move things around with, which is kind of annoying. Two. Spice of life. Hate that. Ooh, a translocator. That would be cool. Xnet. That is transport. Okay, so Xnet is transport. I remember that. Actually, saying that there's not a lot of transport stuff is a load of bollocks, really, because Xnet is a massive, massive transport hub. Okay, so machine frame. So let's get a couple of these things plugged in. So where's the controller? We're gonna want a controller, definitely. So we'll those, and we'll do one of these, and we're gonna need one of these, and that one we've already got, so that's cool. We've already got that one. We've got that. Right, so that's fine. So sends energy, receives energy. That's flux networks. That's not Xnet. Xnet is here. So this is a routing network cable, a green network cable, or a blue network. So we'll go with network cable, which is string, redstone, and gold. Blue connector. Place connector should be connected to the network. Okay, so we're probably going to want a connector, if I can remember rightly. I haven't played with this. I kind of played around with it, but never really got into it. So this is going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Of course it's going to be cool. Why wouldn't it not be cool? Maybe we should have the manual. Maybe the manual would help. Yeah, I know. Manuals for sissies. Okay, so we'll have the thing in here for that as well. Because you never know. We might start off with a basic one and then want to upgrade it. And if we do, we can. Cool. We don't need to auto dictionary. Right, let's go and plug these in. Come on. Oh, you... Really? One? Shitting me? Yeah, good. I knew I built a few more. I was getting sick and tired of running out. There we go. Right, that's cool. So now we can build... so if we go at Xnet, we can now... Oh, wow, cool. We've got 16 net cable already. I know, easily amused. We'll start by crafting a load of that. We've got an Xnet cable thing there. We will craft one of those. So we'll take our cables. We'll take the controller. What else would we need? Would we need a connector? I'm guessing we'd need a connector. I don't know how many, so we'll build 2, just to be on the safe side. No, we're going to need a few connectors because that's what connects to all the other machines. Now I'm remembering. They're not that expensive. And we are going to want to have a few of these as well. Just to be on the safe side. We'll get 10 of them just so that we can upgrade to the next tier. Okay. So let's have a look at the book. Now, if you've never worked this before, it's all about transport. So when I said that there's no transport in this pack, I was lying. It's very, very cool. Very, very... It looks complicated, but it isn't. So let's get to work. Channels are only visible to the reader that are if they are named. Blah, 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 blah. Channels, yeah, okay. Item, energy, fluid, logic. Okay. Logic is special. Measures and that kind of stuff. Items is the one that we really want to do. So you can use all those. Cables, connectors have 4 different colors. Blah, 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 blah. Connector is a part of the cable that can be used to connect to a machine. Placing a connector will automate connection. Yes. Controller. Part 2. It's often handy to disable a channel while you're working on it. Okay, that's good to know. A router. The router is a block that can be used to connect distinct networks. Okay, that's kind of cool. We can have multiple networks. Redstone proxy. This is a block that's very simple. There's no functionality on its own. Special connectors can also connect to it. Right, okay, redstone. Well, that's quite cool. Okay, so that's the basics. So what we are going to need is we're going to need a chest. Because we're going to want to export the items from the system into the chest. We will then feed them from the chest. So we're going to need one of these guys. We're going to feed them from the chest and then out to its relevant parts. Now, we know what we want to begin with. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is the canola. Well, I am anyway. Empowered canola seeds. So this is what we need. We need 4 normal canola and 1 crystallized canola seed, which we already know how to make those crystallized canola seeds. You zap them. They are made over there in the corner. Cool. So what we will do is we will hit on this button. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 canola and 1 crystallized. So we're going to grab 4 canola and 1 crystallized out of the system. We've got plenty. So there we go. And what we're going to do is we're just going to shift. We're just going to drag and click 4 plus 1 of those. And then we're going to go over to the Empowerer. And we're actually going to make this. Now the reason we're going to make it is because we don't have any that have been made before. So we put 4 of these on here like it told us to. Now it makes an empowered canola seed. Perfect. Now we can go back to our crafting recipe and we can hit that. Export into this. Now what we've got is if we request a canola or a crystal or an empowered canola, what we will get is all of the items coming out of the system getting dumped into the chest, which is exactly where we want it to go. We don't want it to mad and go to special places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this thing here because it's part of the network, but it's still close to the system that we can play with it. Plus, I'm going to have to put the controller down at some point. So having it near and close to the system is probably a good idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our our empowered canola in here, and that's our recipe. Now we don't need anything else. Ignore redstone signal. We don't need to trigger automatic crafting. Not at this stage. We might do. However, at the moment, I don't think we do. So what we're going to do is we need to set up this entire system so that it inputs and pulls from these things. Now, I am going to move some of the power generation items purely and simply because I will want to import and export from the bottom. I think it looks neater. and that's where I want to do it, so that's where I'm bloody well going to do it. The power can go around the sides, because eventually I want to try and get like a wireless power system, you know, to make it look kind of cool, you know, kind of look like sci-fi. Or have we got Draconic Evolution in here? No. So the energy item or laser relays are quite cool. Might use lasers. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Lasers would be cool. Yeah. So what I might do is actually use lasers, attach them to the sides, and then, you know, put a central one up the top or something. I don't know. We'll do something with the power, but I do want to get the items in and out from the bottom, just purely and simply because I think it's a lot easier to do that. Plus, it's what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. So if we kill that and that side and that side, and then do this side, and then maybe here. Good. And then we'll take that down. Okay. So we've got a nice little area to work in. Have a place to go up and down. And what we want to do is we want to obviously put the controller down somewhere. So I'm going to put the controller over here where it's accessible. Okay. And I'm going to start hooking up some of the cables. So I'm going to run the cable out and in there. Now we need a connector for there. If I remember rightly. We need a connector for there? I'm pretty sure we do. Pretty sure we need a connector. Well, we definitely need one for the chest. We put... There we go. Right, yeah, okay. It's a block in itself. There you go. Okay, so that is now hooked up to the network. And as you can see, we've got the controller and we've got the chest. Now, what I'm going to call this one is the input-output chest. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on this guy. I'm going to go input, output, chest. Okay. Just like that. Now, if we have a look in here, when I mouse over, you'll see I've called it the input-output chest. Oh, this needs power as well. So let's hook that to the power. Right, now you've got power. Cool. So we can click on these individual items and we can click on the channels. Now they've got 8 things that can go in and out, which is fine. What we want is we want an item. We want to create an item channel here. Okay. So we want to create the items going in and out. So we're going to need those items from the network sent into that chest. Now it doesn't matter that we're not going to be able to do anything with them right now, but at least we'll have the items to play with. Okay, so we'll click start and we'll click that, and then we should see that in the chest we now have 4 canola and 1 crystallized canola. Okay, so in channel I, or 1, which is items, we have got an insert or extract mode. So we're going to extract on channel 1 single items, number of tricks between each operation, where we're going to leave that as it is. We, however, are going to say that we want to extract 4. Okay? And this guy as well. So we've got 4 canola and 1 crystallized canola coming out of this chest. Now, I'm winging this because I'm pretty sure this is how it works, yet I can't quite remember. So it's not good. Right, so, oh, that's the wrong thing. Right, so there we go. So we put one of those guys on the bottom, and then we hook it up to the network. Now, the network should see that. There we go. Double click to highlight, and we can highlight it. So here is the block is now highlighted. There we go. Do you see? It's highlighted. Right, so I don't want to highlight it anymore. There you go. So it flashes to tell you what one it is. So this one we're going to say is number 1. Okay. So this is input 1. And if you mouse over, you've got input 1, display stand 1. So we are going to select channel 1, because this channel is still open for this item. We are going to hit create, because this is this whole channel here is an item channel. So you can see that by the eye. Okay, so insert item channel. This whole channel is an item channel. We're going to insert 1 canola. Okay, got it? On channel 2, we're going to create an item channel. Okay. However, it will be the export. So we don't need it for this one, because this one is just a connector. So we're just putting stuff in there, because that's going to disappear when this thing finishes what it's doing. So if we go and put the right connectors on, which might bloody help, I'm going to call this guy, whoa, funky. I am going to call this guy number 2. Okay, so let's have a look. Number 2. And I'm going to call this guy over here number 3. And I'm doing it this way round because I'm going in a clockwise direction. That way I shouldn't get lost. And I'm going to call this guy 4. And I'm going to call this guy the Empowerer. Okay, which is what it is. Empowerer. There you go. Okay. Now I'm going to slowly hook these up to the network, and I'm going to configure them as I go. So this guy over here is going to come along. This might get a bit complicated here. There we go. So it's going to come along here, and it's going to connect to this one. So number 2 should now be on the network. There is number 1. There is number 2. Okay, so we'll select the first channel, and we're going to create an insert, and we're going to create a single insert of 1 canola. Perfect. Now if we go back there, we should see a single insert of 1 canola, single insert of 1 canola. Now we're going to hook up number 3. In fact, actually, we might as well hook up number 4 while we're here, because they're all named. So it makes it a lot easier. So 3 is the same. We're going to create 1 canola as an insert. And 4 is the same. We're going to create 1 canola as an insert. So now we've got 1 channel, but 4 items being inserted, 5 being extracted. Now the Empowerer gets exactly the same treatment, but with that. Okay. Now on the second channel, it's an item channel again. However, we're going to create an extract. Okay. And we're going to put 1 extract of a empowered canola seed. And on the input-output chest, we're going to create an insert of 1 empowered canola seed. Does that make sense? So in channel 1, we have all inserts. In channel 2, we have the excerts and the inserts. So on channel 1, we extract from the chest, we place all the items into the relevant places, it does its little job, and then as soon as it matches number 2, it switches over to channel 2 and then sends it all back into that chest. Now what we will do is we will put in an import bus on the other side that will only accept those items. However, right now this should, and I say should very loosely, work. If we go jump up here, oh, look at that. Empowered canola seed. How quick was that? That was awesome. Okay. So you can see that this little thing over in the corner is insanely powerful. We can insert and extract what we want, what we need, and however we do it. Now, anything that requires being put onto these stands can just be whitelisted in here, because whatever goes into that chest over there, whatever gets requested, will come in. And then obviously when we get the importer sorted, we will have a way of importing back into the system, but on a very filtered way of doing it, which is exactly what we really, well, it is exactly what we need. We need a way of controlling the items and controlling the flow of the items back into the system, so that not all the items that we put into the system or put in to the chest actually get taken out. So if we had this whitelist just ignored, then anything that we put in, so if we requested, say for instance, we request, let's do some empowered canola again. However, what we'll do is we'll request him. Okay, we'll start that and we'll just request him. So now we've got 10 items or 10 lots of stuff going into here. Now the plimps only accept one, or the display stands only accept one. The power only accepts one item. So there's no overlap, which is quite cool. However, if we had a catch-all or an import-all on that section, we would be importing these things, which are not done yet. So having this little filtered list of the empowered canola seed means that only the canola seed, the empowered canola seed, gets imported back into the network. And therefore, it's a lot easier. But this is really cool, because now this is fully automating our next tier of energy production. How cool is that? So over in the right hand corner, we have our crystallized canola being generated. Over here, we now have a way of generating empowered canola seed. What we now need to do is take the crystallized canola oil, put that into a block, drop this new seed into that block, turn it into empowered canola oil, replace all of the oil in the generators with this new type of oil, and we therefore have the brand new system to go through. Now that is very cool, because that means that we have then fully automated a new system. Now, whenever we want to change this, all we have to do is come along. We have to break one block here, and then we get access to the insert and etc. underneath. However, doing it this way just makes it a little bit tidier. So we will hook up the power. Well, we need to hook up the power. And then we need to go and sort out the drop for the empowered canola oil. So we need to essentially just repeat the setup that we did for the crystallized canola, and then we'll be good to go on that front, which is kind of cool. But now we can actually request items to be done. They can be put into here, and then they will automatically do it themselves. Now that is pretty cool. I mean, I don't know what empowered stuff. I mean, like this kind of stuff, like empowered palace crystal. What we can do is we can actually set up these now to say, well, if we've got these 4 items and this item, then craft this. If we need empowered void crystal, we can set up a channel that will put these 4 items in there and this one in the middle. Now we get our empowered void crystal. I mean, the possibilities are kind of cool. We just need to be careful when we're requesting multiple things, multiple different items. It might put in on the display stands the wrong item. So that's the only thing to look out for, really, is making sure that we don't get cross-contamination of items. However, I'm sure that we can come up with a way of making sure that that doesn't actually happen. How about that then? We now have empowered canola seeds. So in the next episode, so between this episode and next, I will go ahead and essentially copy this system. I will probably put it, either here or make some room over there behind the power, or maybe even, in this kind of area. However, this setup here will be repeated, but it will be using the empowered canola and also the crystallized canola oil. And then I will set up a new fluid block to actually put this new type of oil into, and we will work on generating that new oil. Once I've got a little bit of stuff going, I will disable all the importers on the generators, and then I will more than likely disable the solar panel, so that we're going to leach power like crazy. I will then put the quarry on and watch as the oil is burnt up in the generators and swapped over to the new type of oil. I will more than likely wait until they're all burnt down very low, and then we can essentially watch You know, I'll show you guys that one, obviously, when we come back. But for now, that was really, really cool. I quite like that. Maybe next episode we will add another, you know, another thing to there. So we found something really cool, Xnet. So a lot of things you can do with that. You know, I'm seeing that in the pack. That makes me happy. That makes me as happy as, well, not almost as happy as seeing Ender IO in a pack. Really, really cool. Anyway, guys, you have been awesome. This has been episode 23. I will catch you all next time. Laters. Oh, and before I forget, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. However, subscribe. You never know, you might like one of the next videos. Laters.